So for today, it's basically really hard Venn diagrams and hard conditional probability. So what we did yesterday was Venn diagrams and a little bit of conditional. Conditional means given, blah, blah, blah. But here's the key things you have to know to be able to do this. To start with, you have to know what, for instance, that little dash means. If you know what the dash means, it's a three-letter word. Say it. Not. Very good. So if that had been tennis, it would mean not tennis. All right. And what do you mean by that? Well, we'll show you that more in a second. It basically means you scribble out all the things that pertain to tennis in the chart and you don't use them. All right. You have to remember what this would mean. Now, it's either and or or. And those are the only two words you have to know. The other two words, the word for this is called intersection, but and or are the key words. Which one is this? And. Next question. It's counterintuitive is why I keep pounding this into you. There's or and there's and. Which one is the big answer? Tell the kid next to you, which one is the big answer? Or and? Or is the big answer. You think and would be because it's like this and this and this and this, and it makes it sound like it's a big answer, but it's not when it comes to probability. Or is the big answer. All right, next up. The or symbol. Would you please write the or symbol on your iPad? Write the or symbol. All right, it would look like that, kind of like a U shape. I put a little OR on each peg just to help me remember the and symbol. It's like an A, and that's a big N, and then this is a D, okay? All right, so or and and symbols are really important. All right, now, if I say P of something, you have to know what that little shortcut is for. What's that mean? Probability, yeah, probability of something. All right, so now I think we're ready to go on to this page. Everybody go to this page. And we'll start with a super easy one. We want to make sure you get the difference between and or. Try this one and this one. This is not a probability because it doesn't say P. And it doesn't ask probability of. So it's just asking you for how many are in there. So there's a total of 10 people. And this means A or B. And those are big answers, so it's all of those. So it's 6. Raise your hand if you had 6 for that. Awesome. And the other one was just 2. The and is that. If you make it a real-world problem by saying A is apples and B is bananas, you could ask these people, do you like apples and bananas? And it'll make sense. Yeah, they do. Okay. All right. And how about complement A? By the way, it's the same as not A, but the word complement could be used on the test. What is the complement to A? It's like salt goes with pepper. It's not the salt. If I say the complement to salt is not salt, the complement to salt is the other thing. It's like the stuff that goes with it, like pepper. Or chocolate. A good complement to chocolate is peanut butter. It's not the chocolate, it's something else that goes with it. All right. So what is the complement to A? Well, I like to just go like this. Not A. And then it's the other two things, which is 3 and 4 make 7. You with me on that? All right, moving to the next slide. I know we had more questions on that page, but that's okay. We're ready for the word problem. Now this, in my past experience with this class, is the most missed question. You have a word problem and you have to make a Venn diagram. We might make it even more complicated because you're in honors, so it might be a triple Venn diagram. But the problem is people read something and they just stick the number in the wrong spot and it messes them all up. So my one piece of advice on this is start with the middle area. Because see, otherwise you're going to go, math quiz is 85%. This is easy. Math quiz is 85. Wrong already. That's not where the 85 goes for math. So start with the middle. Read through the problem. Try to figure out what goes in the middle, which is math and French. And it's about getting an A on the quiz. If you got the middle already, you probably saw the probability she gets an A on both is 80%. Man, this kid's pretty smart. 0.80. Now do you see why the 85 couldn't possibly go here? That wouldn't make any sense. It'll be obvious then that this must be 0.05, but I'm telling you, there's a ton of kids that put that number in the wrong spot. Now, hopefully you won't. If you start in the middle, all right. Neither is 0.05. And I had a kid asking, how do we know what this number is? Just process of elimination. You know it adds up to 100%, right? So if it has to add up to 100%, and all we got so far is 80 plus 5 plus 5, that's 80, that's going to be 90, so then it must be 10. Who had 10 before I ever said it? All right, good. Now that, you might be like, people get that wrong. Well, when it's triple Venn, there's so many more little areas, so many more chances to mess up. Okay, this one, the light blue. This one's an easy one, but a ton of people just do it too quick. They get the wrong answer. Try to get this one. This one's a probability Venn because the total adds up to 100%. Alex, what do you say? A on her French quiz.
90%.
You are correct. You didn't fall for the 0.1 right there. You knew that this person also got an A on the French, so that's 90. Okay, probability she gets an A on her math or French quiz. It is pounded into your head by now that or is a big answer, so hopefully you knew you put all those together. Do you get that it would be just as smart to say the whole thing adds up to 100? So those must add up to 95 because there's 5 left on the outside. You could have known it was 95 by not even adding these up, but by taking the other one and taking 1 minus that. All right. What's the probability she does not get an A on her French quiz? You might be like, but all of these are about getting an A. Yeah, they are. Do you realize they basically just said not French? That's effectively what they just said, is not French. Can't be those because those people got the A on the French quiz. So then it must be the other people, which is this and this, which adds up to 10. Who had 10? Be honest. Oh, that's most of you. All right, good. Moving on to this page. This one is conditional probability. We worked on it yesterday. The given always changes what you divide by. And you might be like, I wasn't dividing by anything before. That's true because it was out of 100%. Now, it's going to change the denominator when they say given. Given changes what you divide by. You'll have to divide by something. All right, so think this through. I want to see how good you do without my help. Maybe you've already got this. I'm fine with you just telling me the two numbers that get divided. And if you don't get it yet, it's okay. I can do practice, but I don't want to waste your time if you already all get this. How many of you, I'm not going to call on you, I promise. How many of you have the answer already? Raise your hand if you do. All right. That tells me we might have some trouble, but I still would like you to talk with the kid next to you. If you don't know yet, then you probably don't know how to do this. So you should ask that kid next to you. All right? Talk to the kid next to you.
Divided by 0. I was thinking
All right. So as soon as they said, given she gets an A on her math, then you can either circle this or scribble these out. Maybe both. Okay, now you can only use those two numbers. So now it's out of 0.8 plus 0.05 is 0.85. And now, what do I want? I want the A on the French quiz, which would be these, so it's 0.8 over 0.85. Raise your hand if you got that one right. Okay, good, you get conditional then. If you don't, you should come up and I'll give you a little coaching during work time. All right, now here's where it gets difficult. Not impossible, but definitely a step up on difficulty. All right, try to figure out the answer to that first question. A, union B, union C, AKA, there's a little two-letter word you could be using a lot. Pause for a second. Let me try that first one. Okay, let's see how you did. What's the little tiny word you've been using twice there? Or. And doesn't that make it a really, really big answer? Or. It's like if I said, if you have hair or shoes or parents or a car, raise your hand, and everybody would raise their hand by the end. Okay, so this is all of these. What's smarter? Adding those all up or taking the total minus 8? All right, the problem is I don't think they told us how much the total was. Okay, but keep that theme going because there's a problem coming in a minute where it'd be smarter to take the total and then just take away 8. Okay, so I'm just going to check it quick. This adds up to 10. These two add up to 10. That's 27 plus 1 is 28. Did you guys get 28? Okay, awesome. Notice it was not a probability. It didn't ask you for a probability. If it had, it would have been this, P of. Okay, that was not a probability question. If it had been, it would have been 28 out of, well, I'd have to add 8 more for that thing on the bottom, and that would be 36. If it had been probability. All right. Now, this next one is pretty easy if you understand what the little word is for that symbol. What's the bottom line? What's the answer? Raise your hand if you know the answer. I promise not to call on you. Okay, good. 5. Because you have to like apples and bananas and carrots. That's another way to think of it, is like, think of it as a real world situation. And not A, my favorite way is just go like that. Boop, 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 boop. Don't forget that's not A also. Okay, so then it's just 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 5 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did I add them up right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think it's 12. Isn't it 12? What? Where's 9? 10. What am I doing wrong? Oh my gosh, I crossed out the wrong thing. I was totally just doing... All right. So, I'm supposed to be doing not A. So I should be crossing off these and including those. I'm sorry, so I just had it backwards in my head. So 15 plus 6 is 21 plus 3 is 24. Did you guys get 24? All right, there we go. Okay, good. I guess that was like a little test to see if you just always agree with me, and you didn't, which is great. All right, this, the most missed question on the upcoming test on Friday, will probably be one of these. Please, be very careful as you do it. Try to fill in all the blanks. Some of you will think there's not enough info. There's enough info. If I would do it, I would like do one thing and I'd cross it off. Like, let's say you figure out what to do with the 60, then cross it off. And if you're like, I don't know what to do with the 60, you're actually on the right track. You should wait until you do know for sure one of the numbers and you put it in the right spot and you cross that thing off. Once you got the number in the right spot, cross that off and go on to the next. All right, I'm going to pause while you give this a shot. Okay, so the key was the middle. Did you catch that you wanted to start with the 15 and put it there? Now, I don't know where you put what thing. I personally used A, B, and the C was the bottom circle. I'm curious if you guys did the same, because we do go from left to right and up to down. Raise your hand if you used A, B, and C in that order. Awesome. If you didn't, it's going to be a little more confusing for you to try to follow this, but Here's the key. The 60 for newspaper A does not go here. It can't work because A has to be all of the little blanks have to add up to 60, and you can't do that yet. All right. So instead, you go to these second level clues here, like 22, read A and B. And again, really common mistake. People put 22 right there, and I get what you were thinking, but you were wrong. That's not where the 22 goes. A and B together is these. So together they make 22. So that is not a 22, it's a what? It's a 7. So that together they make 22. Does that make sense? All right, cool. Then 35, read A and C. So A and C is these two. They make 35, so this will be 20. All right. And now I would love for Mr. Breen, if you've been right so far, have you?
Yeah.
Then can you tell me what this A spot is by itself?
18.
18. How about the B by itself?
15.
How about this one in here?
13.
13. And how about the last one in the circles?
27.
And the one that's left out?
10.
10. You guys agree with the totals there? All right, cool. See, I'm not saying everybody gets this wrong on the test, but you can see where they could have made mistakes. And now, hopefully, you won't make those mistakes because we really practiced that plenty. All right, so the only one here that I think is like scary at all is this one. So would you just skip all the other ones and just do that one problem? P, A, given B. That's called a conditional probability. The given part is what makes it conditional. As soon as they said given B, you should have either circled this and added them all up, or since you know it's 100%, you could have taken 1 minus this and this and this and this. Now, it's just as easy to just add up all of those B numbers. Save me some time. I'm pretty sure it's 0.4. Is that right? Okay, good. So it's out of 0.4. What's on top then? The A numbers that are still left. You can't use these, remember? So the A numbers that are left are this and this. And that would make 0.176, I think. Excellent. And there's my answer, 0.176 over 0.4, and you'd actually divide them to get the decimal on the test. When do you round? At the end. Only at the very end. Okay. Then, this is the biggest, nastiest, scariest beast of them all. I'm expecting literally less than half of you to get this one right. Now, honestly, this might even be harder than the test question we would give you on this. So it's a real challenge. But if you've gotten like everything right up to this point, give it a shot. You got this. Signed up for honors because you wanted it to be a little more challenging. This is your moment. You guys notice it's going to be 68 today? It's going to be beautiful and sunny outside. Birds will be singing. Plants will be blooming. You're trying to. And then, like 3 days from now, it goes down to below freezing again. Everything turns into ice. Crazy time of the year. Now this is one of those times where it says given B union C, I don't want to add up all of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So instead, I'm going to go, what is 1 minus 0.144 minus 0.08? And it's faster, 0.776. That's what all these add up to. You guys get the same thing for the bottom? All right, good. Now, B intersect C. I'm gonna go a little extra on this problem. Because I can only use the things in the circle, I'm gonna scribble these out so there's no chance I by accident use them. Okay, now B intersect C is just these guys. And those two together add up to 0.224, I'm pretty sure. You guys get the same thing as me? Nope, I'm seeing some people saying no. I'm gonna double check that. 2, 2, 4. I think it's right. All right, good. All right, cool. If you have questions, I would love to help you. There's a worksheet, and I'm having you skip the last one to try to keep my commitment to keeping your assignments reasonably sized. It's still going to take a little while, but you've got a lot of time in class. So, get working on that. If you need help, please walk up and ask me. Even if it's like, hey, can I look at my probability test again and try it, or not, sorry, the other test, the cumulative test, I want to look at that some more. You could do that during this hour. Remember that you do have an answer key. And don't forget to grade your homework out of 5. If you don't put a score on top, I have to give you I can't tell if you graded it. I don't know what you got, so I have to give you the 3 out of 5. So remember, when you're done grading it against the key, your score should be out of 5 on the top. 5 out of 5 is, I fixed everything off the key. It's all good, including I showed my work. If you deserve a 4 out of 5, you'll know it. Maybe you just didn't show enough work here or there, but you did check it. Or maybe you just didn't fix this one complicated one. 3 out of 5 means I finished it all. But that's all I can say for sure. Okay. 2 out of 5 is I didn't even do much of the assignment. 1 is I did a problem. All right, so give yourself a score out of 5 at the end. That's all I got for you for today.